No, I got into Girl Scouts really heavy.
Uh-huh.
And,
Well, tell us about that.
oh,
Well, when Girl Scouts was big in Penyan and area in that time?
yeah, I started at the first level, not the brownies, but the first, what they called intermediate. It's changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as the years went by, I had all the girls were in the troop. And one year I had 2 daughters in the troop, and that worked out really fine. And another year, a daughter in another troop, so that I worked with 2 troops. But we did a lot of tripping. We became an international friendship troop with a troop in England. And we went to Washington. We'd get a bus. Most of the time I had 32 girls. And my co-leaders were Mrs. Athos, Leslie Athos, and Mrs. Frum, Evelyn Frum. I think her daughter has a store downtown. I should go in and see her. And then Liz Armstrong was my last one, and that she stayed with me for quite a while. I don't know, a long time. Especially when I had senior scouts, because we did a lot with the senior scouts. And it was just, we did a lot of primitive camping. And we hiked on the Appalachian Trail a number of times. Not with different troops, but the troop would go at least one time. So it was full.
Where did you go camping?
Well, Armstrong had a property up near Benton, and they said we could use it. And the next thing I knew, the fathers got together and built a little house. So if it rained or weather was bad, I remember one time it just poured, and we got in the house, and we had so much fun, and the next thing we knew, cars were coming, parents were coming. They thought we were sitting in the rain all huddled up cold, and we were having such a good time. Every summer we really did quite a bit of camping. But we did primitive camping, and I don't know how much they do of really primitive camping, where we built the furniture and just cooked, lived in tents. And the first time I went, I was a little worried. We were way out where nobody was. So my husband said he'd pitch a tent a little ways away from me. That made me feel good. So primitive camping was our main emphasis.
How many years did you do this?
Pardon?
How many years did you do this? Now, your daughters were born in the early 40s, were they?
Yeah, I didn't do it with the first troop. And I think it was the second troop in the 50s that I went to Edith Macy, which is our national camp for the Girl Scouts and Girl Guides. I went there, I think, 5 summers. Mm-hmm. So I got a lot of training.
To be trained.
Yeah, that I really enjoyed the primitive camping, really.
I never even...
So we met a lot of guides from overseas, and that was so much fun because some of them I invited up and would come home with me, and we learned a lot from them.
That's nice.
Oh, now when I think back, we had such good times. It's a beautiful camp. I don't know that they do camping now. I used to get their material, but I don't anymore. So our big thing was really camping and then visiting other troops in other areas.
I love that.
We went to Pennsylvania, and I know. One time we went to church, and there were some Mennonites girls. So I went and I said, "Are you from around here?" And they said, "No." There was a big race in Watkins Glen, and they couldn't get through, so they thought they'd stop for church. So I invited them to come to have dinner with us. And I said, if you are worried about where you're going to go, you can talk to my minister, because we were strangers. But they came, and through them, we got a Girl Scout contact in Pennsylvania. And that was wonderful. We got to know these Mennonites, and through them, we made friends with one couple, and from that, we went up to Red Lake, northern Canada, and flew around in a small plane and could see the moose. You know, that was a wonderful trip. They were so good, and I still write to them.
That's before the Mennonites settled here then.
Yeah.